Movie meaning author Orpheus for reading 5 minutes published 4.02. 2022 updated 4.02. 2022, what will be the plot of the TV series called Kidney? Most likely, it tells about the life of botanists or gardeners who grow amazing plants and spend hours studying the roots, leaves, and buds, as if the silent plants are about to reveal to scientists the meaning of life and the essence of all things. Maybe this movie is about growing up, comparing the budding bud of a tree or flower to a young human soul? Nothing of the sort, although there is more than enough of relationship building and various passions in this movie. The kidney in question is a very important organ of the human body, the failure of which leads to agonizing diseases and death. It is not for nothing that legends about black transplantologists, who kidnap and kill innocent people and even small children to replace a diseased kidney with a healthy one and save the life of a rich patient or a patient who is ready to lay out millions for prolongation of her precious life in the literal and figurative sense of the word. The main character of Kidney, Natalia Kostova, lived in her own pleasure and used to think that everything in her life, as they say, in chocolate. She stole a lot of money, which just flowed into the pocket of the fire inspector, ready to turn a blind eye to obvious violations. Of course, for a reward worthy of her title. She went through life like a tank, and crushed everyone who got in her way, although the comparison with a heavy fighting machine does not look too appropriate when applied to a still young and, in addition, certainly interesting woman. She was used to everything being bought and sold, and stories about incorruptible people were like naive fairy tales for unintelligent children. Burn everything with a blue flame, if only I had a good life, thought Natalia, not suspecting what a terrible surprise awaited her in the very near future. But if it were not for this ignorance, the director would have nothing to make a movie about, and you and I would have no reason to talk about it. One day, a young woman went for a routine medical checkup and was horrified to learn that her kidney was about to fail and needed urgent replacement. Natalia is used to the fact that money opens any door and solves any problem, especially if not only to butter up the interlocutor, but also to threaten him. But this time she learns that it is impossible to buy a healthy organ instead of a sick one, and if you try to bribe doctors, you will end up in the dungeons and contemplate the sky through the bars. It is too serious a crime and too great a risk for any of the people in white coats, even the most selfish and cynical, to dare to break the law. In desperation, she rushes to her relatives and begs that one of them undergo the agonizing operation and donate a healthy kidney to her. But the relatives love Natalia so much that without further ado they point her out the door, not wanting to listen to further complaints and threats, whether sincere or feigned. In short, our heroine, who has reached the brink of despair, finds herself in a situation that would not be spared to her worst enemy. So how does this story end? Will Natalia, in her despair, go off the rails and avenge her wrongdoing left and right? Will she find a doctor willing to commit a crime for money and recover at the cost of someone else's life? That she will kill herself, having previously committed some spectacular and insane act in the spirit of Dostoevsky's heroines? Nothing like that. Everything will end like in an old sentimental novel or in a classic Christmas fairy tale. The heroine will meet the only person who will pity her, her young half-brother, who until recently did not suspect the presence of an adult sister. And Natalia herself will change, feeling the desire to live, but refusing in the end to give up the sacrifice offered to her and transforming from an iron lady of the new Russian variety into a living person. Judging by the mood of the movie and the reviews of most critics, the heroine will defeat death and be saved, although the open ending leaves room for ambiguous interpretation of the finale. In the final scene of the movie, we hear sublime music and see Natalia reconciled to life on the operating table. Judging by her face, even if she passes away, she will die without the hidden fears and jealousies that have gnawed at her heart many times in a row. So what is the point of this melodrama with comedic elements? That self-serving and cynical people will be saved, or at least can be saved. That life is the greatest of blessings and the world is a good place, even if it sometimes seems like a realm of cynics and scoundrels? Perhaps the point of this story is that even adults believe in miraculous transformations and good fairy tales, especially if they have had enough of the bitter truth. One can see Natalia as the Snow Queen, who at the cost of suffering became a living person. One can look at her as a repentant sinner, as if she had come down from the pages of The Lives of the Saints. And you can throw away the tedious philosophy, sit back, pour a cup of coffee or cocoa, distract yourself for a few hours from everyday worries and fully immerse yourself in a fairy tale with the correction of villains, rewarding the good and faithful and with a happy ending.